Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video requested by Anthrax Crab. It's called Abomination, Warhammer 40K story Adeptus Mechanicus, made on the A Vox in the Void YouTube channel. Yes. If you guys want to check out my other reactions to Warhammer 40K content related, created by A Vox in the Void, remember that the playlist card is going to be at the top here. Just click on it and be able to access them. If you want to check out the original video as well as A Vox in the Void's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
The air was thick with orange smog, rising from the uncountable choked lungs of the forge machine. Millions trudged along the main throughway, dragging heavy bionics that malfunctioned and sputtered along the soot-stained road. They passed beneath vast archways that creaked under the weight of ceremonial cogs and the red banners of ancient Mars. Huge, loud hailers droned the Credo Omnissiah on repeat, drowning out the sound of shuffling feet and the thousand groans of failing flesh.
Okay, so this is a forge world, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, servitors.
There is no truth in flesh, only betrayal. There is no strength in flesh, only weakness. There is no constancy in flesh, only decay. There is no certainty in flesh but death. Scion Maximilian Vanderlyn the 23rd watched from the viewing gantry, fighting back a cough. Through the orange haze of industry, the workers were blurred, their borders indistinct, as if they were all organs of one horrendous creature named the Forge. The Scion's hair was slick with a layer of grimy sweat, perspiration pouring down his face. He glanced to his guide, the tech priest Arn-Ki Gibel. The tech...
I don't think I can spell that. I'll just say the tech priest. I'm sorry, Vox in the Void. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. All right. And the Scion is what? What's his name? Maximilian, I think. Okay. All right.
Priest's upper face was replaced by rusting metal, 3 unblinking bionic eyes forming a triangle where her forehead should have been. Where the metal met her lower cheeks, the flesh was red raw and puckered, as if the skin rebelled against the intrusion of the machine. Maximilian hid a frown. It was impossible to tell what the tech priest was thinking. There was no expression in her red eyes.
I would be so distracted, you know, just seeing this metal thing on the face, but then and then the flesh. No guys, no, I'm sorry, no, put a cloak or something over your head. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Okay, you will distract me and I won't be able to focus. Oh gosh.
No human gesture in her unmoving square pose. He glanced back to the scene below, his mind still protesting at the sheer numbers he saw. It was impossible to see the individuality in each independent part. Impossible to recognize the humanity in each blurred face. Just
because there is no more humanity there. There's no more individuality. They're all part of a system, an organism, you know. The humanity has been stripped away. They're just these things now. Ugh.
Cogs of a gigantic machine, turning and clicking into rusted place.
The flesh is weak.
What? All 3 of Arn-Ki Gibel's eyes were focused on the Scion.
What your organic brain cannot comprehend is but simple arithmetic to the blessed machine.
Maximilian chose not to rise to the contempt in the tech priest's voice. He steadied himself, resolving to show no emotion at all. He wasn't a fool. This was not a world of the Imperium. This hellhole belonged to the Adeptus Mechanicus. This world belonged to Mars.
And be, just always think about that. Don't forget about that, okay? You are here as a guest, I'm assuming. You're here to inspect or something. I don't know. Just don't make trouble. Just don't make trouble, okay? You're here just as a guest. You guys might be allies politically, economically, militarily. The Adeptus Mechanicus of Mars and the Imperium of Man. Yes, you guys are allies, but no. Don't think that you have some sort of authority around here. No. I'm scared of these people.
The tech priest smiled. Her few remaining teeth were black and rotten, her gums bleeding pus.
Our tour continues, Lordling of the Imperium.
She turned towards the descender lift, her red robes trailing dirt. Maximilian glanced to his father's seneschal, Gregorius. The old
Gregorius? Seneschal. Okay, so what is like a secretary?
Man still stared at the crowds below, his knuckles white where he gripped at the railing. When he noticed Maximilian's eyes upon him, he slowly turned, neither smiling nor grimacing. With the smallest of gestures, he nodded for the scion to follow the tech priest. Maximilian could feel the old man doddering behind them. Arnki Gebel placed a wrinkled hand on a red flashing cogitator rune, soothing it to a placid blue with a drone of incomprehensible binary. The descender lift shuddered into use, grinding through grime and soot as ancient cogs turned with creaking stiffness. Maximilian went to talk, but the noise of the descender lift was deafening, almost drowning out the maddening repetition of the Credo Omnisire. He felt Gregorius's hand on his shoulder, the seneschal giving him a slight squeeze of support. Maximilian brushed him off with impatience. He was not a child anymore.
Dude, you need to get support wherever you can get it from this place. Really, this place, it's soul-sucking. Okay, a Forge World is soul-sucking to any human being that's there. Acting like you're strong, acting like you're tough and, you're this big guy who can't be touched. You can't be doing that here. Not here. Not in this place.
Stumbled as the descender lift came to an abrupt stop. To his chagrin, both Gregorius and Arnki Gebel remained steady. Without a glance back, the tech priest walked on. She moved with a heavy limp. Maximilian wondered if it was due to debilitating injury, age, or ill-fitting bionics. In any case, it was impossible to tell beneath the bulk of her oversized, grubby robes. Maximilian thought he could hear the sound of straining bionics, but even that was a guess. The sound of machinery whirring and clicking and fizzing was constant, assaulting them from every direction as they moved through the forge. He smoothed down his regalia, wrinkling his nose at the black stains that soiled the crisp blue of his family colors.
And imagine these types of noises that he's hearing are happening every single day. There is no rest. There is no holiday or a vacation period. These guys are working every single day. It's madness, To even just stay there for a while, you would go mad, or I would go mad. I don't think I'm mentally capable of staying in such an environment where there's continuous noise coming from everywhere. And then you still have the environment itself looking very dreary and grey and with black soot and just a place where you're just not meant to be, really.
One can't help but get dirty here, he mused. Where are you taking us, tech priest? He asked.
You have seen the change of the shift, Lordling of the Imperium. Typically, this is all your organic brains remember of these visits. but this is a weakness of the flesh. This unit endeavors to correct you. Now, this unit shows you the workings of the blessed machine.
Are the laborers not part of these workings?
A facile observation that rests upon linguistic equivocation.
Basically, don't care about laborers. There's no laborers here. There's nothing like that here. Oh gosh. You know what? I don't want this tour. I don't want to tour your facilities. I'm done. I'm going. I'm done. Thank you very much. I'm tired, okay? I just want to go home now. Hey.
This unit predicts that you understand her meaning.
Maximilian felt Gregorius's hand on his shoulder again. He shot his father's seneschal an angry glance. I meant no offense, Tech Priest. I count myself fortunate to see the true workings of the machine.
You do?
Arnki Gebel did not reply. They walked at a quick pace, despite the Tech Priest's omnipresent limp. Arnki Gebel took them through winding maintenance corridors, the walls tight and hemming them to single file. Something about the sudden shift from immense space to close quarters produced a mounting claustrophobia, which soon exploded into agoraphobia when they exited into a huge hallway. The Scion took a deep breath, a stifling, dry heat burning at his throat. Humanity was not made to comprehend such impossible sizes. Meanwhile, Gregorius struggled to keep up. The old man wheezed and gasped, faltering by the minute. Tech Priest, my companion tires. Perhaps we could arrange for transport.
The flesh is weak.
The flesh is weak.
Like, that's the best line. That's the number one line when it comes to people from the Mechanicus of Mars. The flesh is weak.
The Tech Priest did not amend her pace. In the maintenance corridors, they occasionally met another servant of the cult Mechanicus, a red-robed, shuffling figure that did not speak or look up as they pressed against the walls to let them pass. Maximilian remembered Gregorius's words before they had made the shuttle trip down to this inhuman, fume-clogged world. You will think them impolitic and oblivious, but do not be fooled, young master. The Mechanicus have turned their strangeness into an art form. Oh, they understand Imperial etiquette. They have weaponized it, using it as a bludgeon against us. Every rudeness is a test, designed to prove the weakness of our flesh. Do not fail their tests, Maximilian. What of human decency? Maximilian had asked.
Human decency? Man, you really are very young, aren't you? You don't know anything.
Are they not human? Uh-huh. They are human, yes. But they are Mechanicus first and foremost. I cannot conceive how such a society could persist, let alone thrive, to live without humanity or rules of conduct. It is a wonder that Mars does not collapse into anarchy. Oh, but they have their rules, young master. There is etiquette within the cult of Mars, every bit as complex and treacherous as in the Imperial Court. Some elements are obvious, to honor the machine, to praise the Omnissiah. But most is Martian mystery, quite incomprehensible to our own fleshy comprehension. Maximilian had snorted at that, earning him a harsh glance from the seneschal. Do not underestimate them, young master. The Mechanicus is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Never let down your guard. Never rise to their bait. And always assume that they know what you're thinking. You make them sound as bad as the witches of the Telepathica. Yes, Maximilian, I do. The old seneschal was seriously lagging behind now. They had weaved through maintenance tunnels and huge metal caverns for almost an hour. The heat had steadily intensified, the moisture of Maximilian's flesh rising as steam. His skin felt dry and flaky. Eventually, the tech priest stopped. They stood before a giant doorway framed with peeling gold. Arn-Ki Gebel fell to her knees, her arms stretched out as she chanted a binary dirge. A ripple of animalistic fear chilled Maximilian's blood. His heartbeat sped. The hairs on his arms stood on end. A cold flush clashed with the unbearable heat. Maximilian didn't understand why, but something in Arn-Ki Gebel's dirge spoke to a primal part of his soul. Some primitive, instinctual terror activated by the arrhythmic repetition of subsonic tones. "Will you stop that, please?" As soon as the words left his mouth, the door began to open. A great creaking scrape of metal against metal. It hissed as scalding air poured out, sending Maximilian reeling. As it yawned open further, the Scion could see hellfire within, blaring red-hot fire that reached high and licked at the blackened ceiling miles above.
It's as if you guys are entering into hell. like the tech priest Arn-Ki Gebel has opened the gates of hell and you guys are gonna enter into it or something. Ugh.
The Scion swayed, dizzy and blinded by the heat, nausea beating down on him, pressing through his eyes. He gasped, but found he could barely breathe. Through blurry eyes, he saw the tech priest silhouetted in a baleful halo of crimson fire. She turned, but Maximilian could not make out her features. Just the maddening triangle red of 3 bionic eyes. Maximilian choked. He was dimly aware of having collapsed to the ground, his palms searing against the burning floor. Intuitively, he slowed his breathing, applying the defensive techniques taught to him by Master Venomite Meltus. He was tempted to purge, but swallowed back his vomit. His heart rate slowed. With every blink, he could see a little more, the tech priest appraising him. The legions of kneeling supplicants inside the chamber, the largest inferno he had ever seen, swallowing up the sky. As the air pressure stabilized, he could hear screaming.
"Behold, the heart of the Forge Machine!"
Maximilian forced himself to stand, the outer layer of flesh peeling from his palms. He gritted his teeth and forced himself to focus. If he squinted, he could see something around the flames, the glint of a force field straining to contain the immense fire. The blaze seemed to originate from a gaping cylindrical device in the ground, some mile across, and through strained eyes Maximilian could see that the rippling heat was thirstily lapped up by an identical aperture in the ceiling. Arn-Ki Gebel was grinning, even as her lower face blistered and peeled.
Oh my gosh, lady, stop.
Life is directed motion. The spirit is the spark of life. Flesh is fallible, but ritual honors the machine spirit, and to break with ritual is to break with faith.
I don't understand.
Yeah, me too. What are you trying to say, lady? What are you trying to say?
The heart of the Forge Machine consumes an average of 0.023 million units a day. Through ritual and sacrifice, the machine spirit is honored and endures.
Maximilian examined his red raw hands.
Oh, okay, like human sacrifice then? Oh. Why didn't you just say that before? You should have just said that in the beginning. Like, this is where we sacrifice people to the machine spirit, you know, this is where they go. Oh gosh. Okay, lady. Alright.
Human sacrifice?
Yes.
Why did you show me this thing?
To correct the frailties of your flesh, Lordling of the Imperium. To help you understand.
This is an abomination!
Hey, you don't say that here. You don't say that. You wanna get into trouble, man. Did you not just hear from the seneschal? Just nod your head and say yes, okay. You know, don't argue with these people. Don't insult their culture and their religion. You are on their turf. This is their home. Hey.
The tech priest was silent. Maximilian glanced over his shoulder, seeing Gregorius standing at a distance. Even though the old man avoided the worst of the heat, he looked haggard, his skin steaming with sweat, black smudges staining his face. The scion shook his head. "I would like to leave, tech priest." As the tech priest led them away, Maximilian thought back on his conversation with Gregorius. He remembered frowning. If they are as bad as the witches, then why are they tolerated? For the same reason that the witches of the Telepathica are tolerated, young master. Because the god emperor needs them. Maximilian had gone to scoff, but the old man had placed a hand on his wrist. Put such thoughts out of your mind, Maximilian. Forget any notion of common humanity or compassion. You cannot risk such luxuries here. Maximilian refocused.
That's why I'm saying just keep quiet, maybe crack a smile, and just nod your head. Just agree to everything that you're seeing and get out. You don't want to be in here, man. You just don't want to insult these people. Oof. This is scary.
Arn-Key Gibel had led them through another maze of maintenance tunnels and cavernous hallways, a blur of creaking gears and blackened cogs. The scion felt dizzy, his body struggling to cope with the abrupt shifts in temperature and space. His mind was groggy, his mouth horribly dry. With a twinge of alarm, Maximilian realized that Gregorius was nowhere to be seen. My father's seneschal.
This way, lordling.
A blast of relatively cold air sent Maximilian tottering. He realized that he was in the spaceport, dozens of shuttles landing and taking off every minute, a maddening frenzy of constant motion. Servitors unloaded and refueled vessels, overseen by red-robed adepts. Heavily...
No. Oh, sorry, Vox in the Void. Maximilian, go back. Go look for Gregorius. Go get him. I don't like this.
The augmented pilots sat in their cockpits, fizzing wires connecting the top of their spines to blinking cogitators. Imports of human cargo marched out in chains, dragged along by towering Skitari.
Your shuttle is being prepared for disembarkment. Wait here.
Maximilian barely registered Arn-Key Gibel's words. He staggered backwards, supporting his weight against a row of fuel barrels. The sky was full of buzzing insects. No, they were shuttles, swarming in concentric circles, waiting to land. The scion blinked, getting out of the way as a heavy servitor stomped towards him, reaching for a fuel barrel with its servo arm. The servitor was dwarfed by the barrel, but it shouldered the load without complaint, an ant lifting 10 times its own weight. The scion watched it go, marveling at the scene.
Move, Imperial!
At a tech adept's warning, Maximilian dodged a line of trudging menials who dragged a huge, snaking fuel pipe. He went to apologize, but the tech adept simply walked on, directing his charges towards a shuttle double the size of the others. Maximilian stared, barely avoiding another crowd of workers coming in the opposite direction. He realized he had lost sight of where he was told to wait. There were so many people and machines milling about, obeying some profound order he couldn't fathom.
This is like, when you're at an airport for the first time. A very large airport, like or Tambo Airport or maybe Heathrow Airport in Britain. It's so big, it's so confusing. Like everyone is walking everywhere. Everyone knows where they're going except you. You're just there and you're just looking at everyone going everywhere, and then you just become very scared, stressed out, asking for help. Others they just look at you like, why are you touching me? Why are you talking to me? Go to the information board. go to the information help desk. They'll help you out. Don't talk to me. This is the kind of situation that what's his name again? Maximilian is in right now. He's at the airport. He's lost. He doesn't know where to go, and no one's helping him. Oh gosh.
He tripped over a cable, sprawling to the ground. Instinctively, he went to catch his fall with his burned hands, letting loose a sharp hiss of agony from his parched lips. He groped to the floor, trying to find his wits and balance. A firm hand grabbed the back of his shirt and dragged him upwards. "Thank you. The Skitarii stared back. It had no face, though Maximilian couldn't tell if what he saw were bionics or simply armor. A grated respirator for a nose and mouth. Red-tinged goggles for eyes, all shadowed by a heavy red cowl. It loomed over the Scion, bulked out in a carapace cuirass, its arms bionic and inhumanly strong. I seem to have lost... Wait, what are you doing?" The Skitarii grabbed Maximilian's wrist, almost breaking the bone as it yanked him forwards into a line of chained men and women. Before Maximilian could fully process what was happening, he was manacled and being dragged with the others. "Wait! No! This is a mistake! Wait!"
Where is Anki Gabel? Where's the tech priest? Where's Gregorius? No, man. Oh gosh.
"Listen to me!" A rush of terror brought back Maximilian's wits as they approached the edge of the spaceport. He glanced wildly about, looking for someone that could help him. Everyone seemed utterly oblivious to his cries, but he tried anyway, explaining, insulting, pleading. "Tech priest! Tech priest!" With a flood of relief, Maximilian saw Anki Gabel. He was suddenly glad of a distinctive triangle of eyes. "Tech priest! Help! Help me!" Anki Gabel stared back at him impassively. "No! Wait! Tech priest! Tech priest!" As the
Oh no. Oh no. Yo. What's going to happen to him, guys? Yo. And where is Gregorius? Where is he? Sure.
doors to the spaceport closed behind them, Maximilian saw a satisfied grin spread across Anki Gabel's lips. "Wait! No! Wait!
That damn bitch.
Wait!" He started to hyperventilate. "Skitarii, please! Skitarii, I am not supposed to be here! I am a Lord Scion of the Imperium! I am—" The Skitarii turned and delivered a sledgehammer uppercut to the Scion's chin. The blow was immense, slamming Maximilian's jaw onto his tongue and severing it in an instant. The Scion tried to scream but only managed a gurgled cry of gushing blood. He vainly struggled, but he was hauled forwards, his tongue trampled by the line of people behind him. He could just about see it, pulped and abandoned on the grated floor. It was too much. Maximilian passed out. When he awoke, he was pinned upright to an X-shaped metal cross. The air was frigid, stinking of chemicals. The Scion felt groggy. He could feel where the blood had dried against his chin, his severed tongue aching in a steady, dull pulse. Purple bruises blossomed over his body. After a few beats, Maximilian realized he was naked. He tried to free himself, but he was clamped in place, struggling against steel. Maximilian tried to calm himself. Some time had elapsed, enough time for Gregorius to reach the spaceport and ask the necessary questions. Damn that old man, he thought. If he had just accepted bionics for his legs, this would never have happened.
They're going to make you into a servitor, Maximilian. They're going to make you into a servitor. Oh my gosh.
He tried to look around, but his neck was clamped in place. From what he could see, the room was small, almost like a cell. Its walls were cluttered with medical apparatus, a servo arm clamp on one side, and a Medicae mechadendrite on the other. No one else seemed to be in the room with him. Gregorius will be here soon, Maximilian assured himself. It's almost over. He started as a door opened. A servitor gazed blankly at him, struggling under the weight of a curved metal plate. Behind was a tech adept. Maximilian moaned in fear. His voice sounded strange without his tongue. The servitor approached with faltering steps. It might have been female once. There was something feminine about the tuft of dead hair that reached down to its shoulders from the right side of its scalp. Either way, it did not respond to Maximilian's muffled pleas. Slamming the metal plate into his chest with crashing force, the tech adept stepped forwards with an electro drill. Behind it, a line of servitors waited silently, carrying tools and bionics, gears and wires. Maximilian screamed as the tech adept drilled the metal plate into his body, feeling his skin corkscrew away as the nails were fixed to his shoulder blades and ribs. His vision swam in agony, returning to sharp focus as the wall-mounted medical mechadendrite injected him with a concoction of life-saving chems. He felt his blood swim from the holes the tech adept had made in him, running like lubricant between his flesh and the plate. Another servitor stepped forward, handing the tech adept an electro saw before bowing back. It buzzed into life, slicing through the skin of Maximilian's shoulder before finding resistance at the bone. The scion howled, fighting wildly against his restraints. The wall-mounted servo arm pinned him down as the left arm ripped away, his underarm skin tearing and giving way to a splatter of blood. The next servitor entered, presenting a grubby bionic. The tech adept pinched at Maximilian's exposed nerve fibers, cleaning them of bone dust and skin as the blood flowed in steady bursts. The medical mechadendrite injected Maximilian again as the tech adept reverently took the bionic arm, chanting to the Omnissiah as it unspooled wiring from the augment's inner workings. With delicate metal hands, the tech adept wove the wires around the nerve fibers and soldered them together. As Maximilian shrieked, the tech adept fed the wires back into the bionic arm, positioned it against the scion's shoulder, and reached once more for the electro drill. Maximilian continued to howl. Some innermost portion of his mind urged him to speak, to tell the tech adept that there had been a mistake.
But he can't. He can't talk. He can't talk. Wherever Gregorius is right now, it's too late. It's too late. Oh.
But the pain was too great for him to manage anything but screams. He stared with horror at the bionic arm as the medical mechadendrite applied another dose of stim. It was an ugly thing, too large for his frame, dragging him downwards against the clamps. It was a thing fit only for a menial wretch, a hideous, unspeakable thing. He convulsed as aluminum charge spasmed through his body. He spat fizzing blood on his metal chest. The tech adept applied the electro saw to Maximilian's other arm, the sword bone left behind a white sheen of dust, shaded with crimson as his right arm tore away. Then the pinch, the white-hot agony of metal against nerve fibers, the soldering, the drill. Maximilian wheezed. Distantly, he realized he wasn't screaming anymore. His throat lacerated and useless. He tried to think. There was a name, someone who might still come, but it was hard to think. Hard to think past the pain and the animal part of his mind that screamed in tortured terror. It was like a secret. Something that might still save the scion if he could only remember.
Gregorius. Gregorius. Gregorius.
A name. A name. The scion was dimly aware of intense pressure against his torso. The tech adept was attaching metal girders to the plate, building an exoskeleton to support the immense, ungainly weight of Maximilian's bionic arms. A sharp pain in Maximilian's neck signaled another stim injection. Another spasm of aluminum sent him convulsing. He gaped down at his body, a scaffolding of bloody metal parts. Inhuman. Not his. Maximilian wanted to scream, but it hurt even to breathe. He suddenly had the absurd thought that this couldn't be real, that he was about to wake up, that this couldn't possibly be happening to him. Next, the tech adept took his legs. Shuffling servitors brought in the replacements, sooty, clunking things with exposed, rusted gears. Maximilian's eyes rolled back as the agony began anew. He didn't even notice when the tech adept castrated him with pincered calipers, his mutilated genitalia flopping limply to the blood-soaked ground. When it was finally over, another dose of stim jolted him into focus. The tech adept stood appraising him with cold green eyes. The scion could feel a tremendous weight dragging on his skin, a terrible new mass that pulled him towards the earth. He tried to look at the tech adept, but he could barely lift his head. He grunted, spitting blood as the tech adept reached out with a hand and took him by the broken chin, inspecting him like a prize grox. A thin, winding mechadendrite unspooled from beneath the tech adept's robes, uncoiling towards the scion's face. This isn't real, Maximilian thought. This can't be. The thin mechadendrite burrowed up Maximilian's right nostril, finding the young scion's frontal cortex. With a series of small snips, the tech adept severed the cortex from the rest of the brain, and Maximilian never thought in words again.
The transformation is complete. It's complete. There is no more Maximilian here. This is just another servitor.
The unit apologizes. This is an abomination.
I want to see him.
As you wish, Seneschal.
Gregorius sighed, feeling it travel through his entire body. He felt every bit of his 200 years. Arn-Ki Gebel had already told him the bad news. Not just bad news. A tragedy. A calamity. Lord and Lady Vanderlyn would be devastated. Gregorius was devastated. He felt tears on his face. He had told Lord Vanderlyn that the boy was not ready. The Seneschal did not doubt that the young scion had made some mistake. The boy was too proud, too hot-headed, rushing off without the Seneschal, allowing himself to be lured away by the Mechanicus. Who knows what Maximilian had said? Something had happened.
He said a lot of things. He said a lot of things he should not have. He should have just kept quiet, smile, or just nod. Instead of saying all these other things that he was saying and asking questions. Don't ask questions. Don't do anything. Hey. And you could see Arn-Ki Gebel, she's not sorry. She's not. And there's nothing that Maximilian's family can do about this. Nothing. No matter how powerful they may be, they cannot, attack the Imperium of Man's greatest ally. This is beyond them. This is beyond their nobility or family, however rich they may be. This is beyond them.
The Seneschal was certain of it. Arn-Ki Gebel seemed positively gloating. It was the most emotion she had ever shown him. The Seneschal knew that the tech priest could have hidden her emotions if she'd wished. The half-aborted smile on her lips was meant to be seen. Beware the wrath of the Adeptus Mechanicus. As a courtesy, Arn-Ki Gebel had arranged transport to the servitization chambers. Gregorius knew that he should have fitted bionic locomotion years ago, but he'd always hated the idea. After all, he knew the creatures that would provide his augmentation. Monsters. He had tried to warn the boy. He had tried to warn him, but Maximilian had not listened. Lord Vandalin will not be pleased.
They don't give a effing L nothing about that. They don't give a damn. Nothing. He can be angry, he can bring a fleet, he can do whatever he wants. They're not going to succeed here. They're just not.
Gregorius managed.
This unit understands, and shall offer compensation, Seneschal.
Compensation won't return him his son.
If Lord Vandalin would like, this unit will return to him his son.
That is even more painful. That is even more painful. But I think you know that already, Tech Priest. You know how painful this is going to be for that family. To see their son mutilated like this. Destroyed. You know how painful this is going to be for them. Man, you are evil. Oh.
Gregorius fell silent. He knew that the Tech Priest was baiting him. It was a message for Lord Vandalin. If not for that message and the necessity of a messenger, Gregorius would already be dead. The Mechanicus does not fear imperial nobility.
Again, this unit apologizes.
Please save it.
Gregorius kept his voice level. Thank you, Tech Priest.
Just this way.
They had separated Maximilian from the other new servitors, keeping him in the cell where they had disfigured him. The air was cold, formaldehyde stinging the Seneschal's nostrils. Gregorius braced himself. Nonetheless, when the door opened, he fell into sobs. The boy's nose was swollen where lobotomizing mechadendrites had mutilated his brain. His mouth dribbled blood, his teeth cracked and broken. They had removed his scalp and affixed heavy blocks of metal, sending his head bobbing beneath the weight. Oh, God, Emperor! The servitor slowly lifted its head. They had left his eyes intact. The bright blue had dulled to a clouded milky ocean, but they were still undeniably Maximilian's eyes. The servitor groaned. It was Maximilian's voice, but it was slurred and mechanical. Maximilian, what have they done to you? Later, Gregorius would tell himself that it was a lie, a trick of his trauma, or of his own exhaustion, and yet in that moment he was certain of what he saw. The boy's white-blue eyes, misting with terrified tears.
Now imagine, I don't know how long the Seneschal has been working for the family, but imagine this guy, Gregorius, has seen this boy ever since he was born, probably, you know? He has seen him grow up into this man, and now he sees him this way. That boy that he raised, that he helped raise, has now become this thing. Oh. Yeah, guys, yes. That was Abomination, Warhammer 40K story, Adeptus Mechanicus, made on the A Vox in the Void YouTube channel. Yes. Ooh, this was really sad. Very sad, very depressing. And, you know, this is Warhammer 40K for you. It's terrible, it's nightmarish, it's hellish, it's painful. And this alliance of convenience between the Imperium of Man and the Mechanicus of Mars, it can never be broken. It can never be changed. It can never be questioned. This is reality. This is how it's going to be forever, you know. The tech priests, or should I say the Mechanicus of Mars, have complete jurisdiction and authority to do this to humanity, you know, to destroy the human spirit, destroy the human body, and use it as a commodity, as a thing in their production of their industries or other forms of technology and, you know, logistics. This is the fate of many, many humans across the galaxy. And this Scion, I don't think he was really, he was not given enough education on the reality of this galaxy. He wasn't given enough education. Because honestly, if I was him and I was sent to this planet for a tour, I would be staying so close to Gregorius, like I'll be stitched to him. I will be sticking by his side. Wherever he walks, I walk too. No matter how slow he may be, I'm with him. Because this place, oh gosh, this poor boy, this poor boy. But the narration was good. It was really entertaining. Sorry guys, I just have to flip over to this, yes, the narration by A Vox in the Void, or is it Stefan Duxbury? Because I saw another name at the bottom of the the poster. So I'm just wondering whether it's Stefan Duxbury who's talking, or who made the story actually, and then A Vox in the Void is the one narrating. Yes, I think that's how it is here. But yeah, really good narration of the story, and the voice actors for the tech priest, Gregorius, and of course Maximilian, also very well done. But yeah, this story, I think I'm gonna have nightmares. I think I'm gonna have nightmares. The way everything was just explained in detail, how Maximilian was lobotomized and just mutilated and destroyed, and how they also described the Forge world, and how everything is organized, and how the tech priests go about their business, and how the Skatari also go about their business, and the tech adepts and everything, how organized it is. But it's extremely nightmarish. It's hellscape right here. It's a place you don't want to be in, really. Rather kill yourself. Kill yourself. Look, if they send you to a Forge world, kill yourself immediately. Because what they're going to do to you is just... yeah, it's just too much. It's too much. Maximilian. Oh gosh. Guys, yeah, this was amazing. This was amazing. Thank you, Anthrax Crab, for requesting that I should react to this. I'm going to remember this for a very long time. I'm going to be, just remembering this video for a very, very long time. Really. Understanding the process in making a servitor. It's going to be etched into my mind for a very long time. Guys, that's it. If you want to check out the original video as well as a Vox and the Void's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos. And I will see you guys later. Yeah. Well done. Vox and the Void. Well done. Well done. Oof. Chilling.